You were never designed to be common. You were not created to be easily accessed, quickly understood, or cheaply handled. You are a chosen woman, marked by heaven, shaped by purpose, and appointed for destiny. And because of that, there are some things you must never share too soon, too freely, or with the wrong man. You see, when God gives you value, it's not for you to advertise. It's for you to protect. The world will teach you to overshare, to impress, to keep a man interested. But kingdom wisdom teaches you to conceal some things, not out of fear, but out of discernment. A chosen woman does not hand over her deepest insecurities to be handled by someone who hasn't proven trustworthy. She understands that her emotional wounds are sacred spaces, rooms where God still walks with her. Rooms not everyone deserves access to. Some men don't want to heal you, they want to exploit your brokenness. But a woman of purpose lets God finish his work in her before she lays it bare before another. She does not reveal her divine assignment prematurely. Vision is sacred. Purpose is delicate. You can't show your blueprint to someone who doesn't even know how to build. A man who is not aligned with God will try to reshape your calling into something that benefits him. But a chosen woman waits for a man whose spirit resonates with her mission, not competes with it. She never puts her spiritual secrets on display for attention. Her prayer life, her fasting, her divine encounters, those are between her and the Lord. She knows that her intimacy with God is not a performance. When a woman starts performing spirituality to keep a man, she begins losing God to gain flesh. And what you gain in the flesh, you will lose in the spirit. She doesn't reveal the depths of her financial power, not because she is hiding, but because she is wise. Money in the hands of the wrong man becomes manipulation. A woman who is financially whole should never be made to feel like her strength is a threat. A real man will see your stability as a blessing, not a battle. She does not use her past scars to gain sympathy or control. Pain must be processed before it is shared. A chosen woman allows God to turn her wounds into wisdom. She doesn't bleed on people who didn't cut her. When and if she shares from healing, not hurt. Her story becomes a testimony, not a trap. She guards her emotional strength. Just because she's been strong for everyone doesn't mean she must be exposed to everyone. Not every man can handle a woman who cries deeply and loves fiercely. She understands that her tears are not weakness. They are a form of worship. And until a man proves himself safe, she hides her tears in prayer. And finally, she never negotiates her standards. A chosen woman knows her worth. She doesn't shrink to fit a man's ego. She doesn't bend God's principles to accommodate someone's potential. She understands that her boundaries are not walls, they are gates. And only the right one can walk through them. Let me tell you this, being chosen doesn't mean being lonely. It means being set apart. And when you're set apart, you cannot live like those who are simply available. You must walk with wisdom. You must speak with restraint. You must guard your heart, for out of it flow the issues of life. The man who is sent by God will not be intimidated by your mystery. He will be drawn to it. He will not be confused by your silence. He will respect it. He will not ask you to lower your value. He will rise to meet it. A chosen woman understands the power of her vulnerabilities. She knows that her deepest insecurities are not weaknesses to be paraded around, but sacred areas of her soul where God is still at work. To reveal such insecurities to just anyone is to invite unnecessary harm, judgment, and manipulation. These are the fragile parts of her that God is in the process of healing, refining, and transforming. And she guards them with wisdom. A woman of strength does not feel the need to make her wounds public for validation or sympathy. Instead, she trusts God to heal her privately with intention before sharing the journey with anyone. She is aware that there are those who, without good intentions, will exploit her vulnerabilities, using them as tools to control, criticize, or diminish her. To a woman who has been chosen by God, her deep insecurities are not fodder for a man's ego or a tool to build a relationship. The need for constant reassurance or the desire for someone to fix her is something she's overcome. Instead, she looks to God as a healer, the only one who can give her the peace and confidence she seeks. By guarding her insecurities, she allows space for God to build her identity in His image. She refuses to let her sense of worth be defined by anyone other than the Creator who fashioned her. The world may try to make her feel incomplete, but the chosen woman knows that her wholeness comes from God alone. She does not place the weight of her identity in the hands of others, understanding that her strength is built in the quiet confidence of knowing who she is in Christ. A chosen woman understands that her life is not random or without purpose. She knows that she has been intricately designed for a divine assignment, a calling that goes far beyond any earthly relationship or pursuit. This assignment is deeply personal and uniquely crafted by God, and it is sacred. It is not something to be shared with just anyone or revealed too quickly, for it carries the weight of heaven's mandate on her life. The purpose that drives her is far more significant than any fleeting attraction or temporary validation a man might offer. Her divine assignment is something she guards with reverence. It's not up for negotiation or compromise, and it certainly isn't for public display until the appointed time. There are those who may try to influence her direction, but a woman who is secure in her calling knows that no man, no matter how charming or persuasive, can redefine the path God has set for her. She doesn't allow her divine purpose to be watered down or distracted by the expectations of others. She also understands that sharing this assignment with someone who isn't aligned with God's will for her life can create confusion, misalignment, and frustration. Her calling is not to be molded to fit another person's desires. It is to be fulfilled according to God's plan. A chosen woman trusts that when the right man comes along, he will not try to overshadow her purpose, but will respect and support it. Until then, she keeps her assignment close to her heart, nurturing it with prayer, focus, and obedience to God's guidance. She knows that in time, God will reveal it to the right person in the right season, and until then, it remains a treasure in her soul, only shared with those who truly understand its weight and significance. A chosen woman knows that her relationship with God is sacred, and it is not to be flaunted or used as a tool for validation. Her spiritual secrets, the moments of prayer, worship, fasting, and intimate encounters with the Lord, are deeply personal. These experiences form the foundation of her strength, wisdom, and peace. And they are not meant to be shared with just anyone. The depth of her communion with God is not for public consumption. It is a private exchange between her and her Creator, one that strengthens her spirit and renews her soul. In a world that often seeks to perform spirituality for the approval of others, a chosen woman understands that her faith is not a spectacle. It is a refuge, a source of power that fuels her purpose. The secret places of her heart, where she communes with God, are not open to be critiqued or manipulated by a man who does not understand the weight of divine connection. Her moments of quiet reflection, her prayers in the secret place, her tears before the Lord, these are hers alone to share as she feels led, not for the sake of impressing others, but as part of her personal walk with God. And a woman who understands the importance of guarding her spiritual secrets does not use her spirituality to attract attention. Instead, she knows that God sees her heart, and that is enough. Her intimate moments with God are where she finds her true identity, peace, and strength. She does not need to prove her spiritual life to anyone, For her true worth and calling are found in the secret, quiet places where only God can truly see her. It is there in the stillness that she is made whole, and it is there that she receives the divine direction that leads her in all aspects of her life. A chosen woman understands that her financial independence is a vital part of her identity and empowerment. She knows that her value is not tied to her ability to rely on someone else for provision. Her financial strength is not a tool to be used to control or manipulate, nor is it something she should feel ashamed of. Instead, it is a reflection of her diligence, wisdom, and stewardship, gifts from God that she uses responsibly. She has worked hard for what she has, and she knows that the fruits of her labor are a testament to her faithfulness and commitment to fulfilling the purpose God has placed within her. A woman of purpose does not allow anyone to diminish her financial independence. She doesn't reveal the full extent of her wealth or resources to just anyone, especially not to someone who may seek to undermine her position or take advantage of her. There are men who may be intimidated by a woman who is financially stable, but a chosen woman understands that her worth is not measured by her bank account, but by her integrity, her heart, and her calling. She does not use her wealth to gain affection or approval, and she does not expect anyone to view her success as an opportunity for them to benefit without contributing to her life in a meaningful, equal way. She knows that her finances are not merely for survival. They are a tool for fulfilling her divine assignment. Her money is to be used for purposes greater than herself, whether it be for kingdom work, building the community, or supporting her loved ones. She does not let her financial independence become a means of control in her relationships. Instead, she remains humble, wise, and discerning in her financial decisions. She keeps her financial resources close to her heart, using them as a means of blessing others and fulfilling the mission God has given her. The right man will respect her independence and see it as a strength, not a threat. He will not try to control or diminish her. Rather, he will recognize that her financial independence is a reflection of her strength, wisdom, and God-given purpose. A chosen woman understands that her past scars are part of her story, but they do not define her. She has faced pain, loss, and heartbreak, but she doesn't wear these scars as a badge of victimhood. Instead, she recognizes them as the markers of her journey, signs of resilience, growth, and the lessons God has taught her along the way. These scars are not for public display, nor are they tools to elicit sympathy or manipulate others. She understands that her past was a process, a season of refining that has shaped her into the woman she is today. While many people may see scars as imperfections, a woman of purpose sees them as testimonies of God's healing power. She does not need to continuously share her past struggles in an attempt to gain validation. Her healing has been a private journey between her and God. And she knows that the fullness of that healing is only realized when she allows God to complete the work in her, not when she drags the pain of her past into every conversation. She doesn't use her scars as a way to attract pity or approval, because she knows that true healing comes when she no longer needs to relive her trauma to find identity or comfort in it. A chosen woman understands that revealing her scars requires discernment. She doesn't just open up about her past to anyone who asks, for not everyone can handle the vulnerability it takes to expose those parts of her heart. She shares her healing when it is time with people who can offer wisdom, love, and understanding, people who won't exploit her pain for their own benefit. Her past scars may be visible to those who know her deeply, but they no longer control her narrative. They are simply a part of her history, not the defining factor of her present or future. A chosen woman knows the depth of her emotional strength. She has walked through trials, faced disappointments, and endured pain. Yet she stands firm in her purpose. Her emotions are not a sign of weakness. They are a testament to her resilience. She does not wear her emotional strength as a badge of pride, but she recognizes that it is a gift from God given to her to navigate the complexities of life with grace and wisdom. She understands the importance of emotional intelligence and the power of self-control, knowing that her emotions, when properly managed, are a source of strength, not instability. However, she also knows that not everyone is worthy of witnessing her emotional vulnerability. Animals, she does not freely expose the depth of her feelings to just anyone. Her emotional strength is sacred, and it is reserved for those who have proven themselves trustworthy. She doesn't give her emotional labor to those who do not value or understand the weight of it. A woman who is chosen by God recognizes that her emotional energy is precious, and she does not waste it on relationships or situations that drain her without offering mutual respect, understanding, and support. A woman of emotional strength does not seek to manipulate or control others through her emotions. She does not use tears or anger to influence or sway others. Instead, she uses her emotional maturity to lead, to encourage, and to uplift those around her. Her ability to stay calm in the face of adversity, to remain composed in times of chaos, and to love deeply despite challenges is a reflection of her inner peace grounded in her relationship with God. While she may carry deep emotions, grief, joy, frustration, or love, she does not allow these emotions to rule her actions or decisions. She has learned to surrender her emotions to God, trusting Him to guide her heart and mind. A chosen woman knows when to express her feelings and when to hold them close, understanding that there is wisdom in both silence and speech. She recognizes that true emotional strength lies not in denying her feelings, but in having the wisdom to manage them with dignity and grace. A chosen woman understands the importance of maintaining high standards and firm boundaries. She knows that her life has been designed by God for a specific purpose, and that purpose is too valuable to be compromised. Her standards are not negotiable, for they are rooted in her identity, her values, and her divine calling. She does not lower them to please others, nor does she bend them to accommodate those who cannot meet them. Her standards reflect her respect for herself and her understanding of her worth in God's eyes. You know that if someone truly values her, they will honor the principles that she holds dear. Her boundaries are not walls meant to keep people out. They are protective gates that preserve her peace, her integrity, and her purpose. A woman who is chosen by God knows that not everyone deserves access to her time, energy, and heart. She does not allow others to walk over her boundaries, manipulate her emotions, or pressure her into situations that go against her values. She draws clear lines around her life, and she makes it known that anyone who enters must respect those lines. Boundaries are not a form of exclusion, but a form of self-respect. A chosen woman knows that setting boundaries is a sign of emotional health and spiritual wisdom. She does not feel guilty for protecting her peace, nor does she apologize for prioritizing her well-being. She understands that her time is valuable, her heart is sacred, and her energy is precious. A man who is truly meant for her will respect her boundaries, not try to push against them or test their limits. He will honor her standards, recognizing that they are not obstacles to overcome, but markers of her strength and purpose. Beden porni mat muse jimjan abushonshi bifiette. She knows that solitude is sometimes necessary for growth and clarity. She knows that solitude is sometimes necessary for growth and clarity. She is not desperate for validation or approval, for she knows her worth. Until then, she is content to remain firm in her standards, knowing that in doing so, she is honoring God and herself. A chosen woman is not defined by the world's standards, but by the divine purpose and wisdom God has instilled in her. She knows that her worth is not up for negotiation, and she refuses to settle for anything less than what aligns with her calling and her values. Her deepest insecurities, her divine assignment, her spiritual secrets, her financial independence, her past scars, her emotional strength, and her standards and boundaries. These are sacred treasures that she protects with grace and discernment. She does not share them with just anyone, for she knows that they are not to be exploited or misunderstood, but to be honored and respected by those who understand the depth of her worth. To the chosen woman, you are not here to blend in or to be easily swayed by the opinions of others. You are here to rise, to shine, to walk in your purpose with confidence and strength. Your life is marked by divine intention, and every step you take should be in alignment with that calling. Hold fast to your boundaries, guard your heart, and know that the right people will see your value, not as a threat, but as a blessing.